Right, hello YouTube, and welcome back for some more Kerbal Space Program. Last time we did a bit of a, we had a little bit of a semi-disaster, but we had a rather enjoyable, ultimately, moon mission that ultimately did succeed despite some slight accidents along the way. And we came back with quite a lot of science. So our first thing, I guess, is choosing what we want to use that science for. There's sort of things like improved power systems, like solar panels and things. We could take some more radiators in preparation for later. We could take ion engines, which are very low power but extremely fuel efficient engines. Could be good for little probes and things, little lightweight stuff. We could go into IORC, which is in situ resource utilization, or basically space mining. You can use it to mine both planet surfaces and asteroids to, well, get extra resources. And also, I guess there's a new base station? I don't remember this one. No atmosphere. Okay, so yeah, we could also get some more science from that. That might be a good option. And scan planet surfaces. We could get some more command pods. I think it's a, 4-man pod and a 2-man pod. I'm not quite sure what the point of that one is. There's also the larger cousin of the Nereid, the Tethys, which is like a 3-man version that has the retro rockets. Field science, we could take some rover wheels, external command seats, and also the rover autopilot. We could take some RCS. But rather than having a look at all these technologies, and I think what we should do is see what missions we have available. We've now sent probes out to both Duna and Eve. So we could maybe see if there's any contracts that want us to do something. Oh my god. 40 tourists up to the space station and they'll pay us $1.5 million. Wow, okay, that wasn't what I was planning to do, but that is a heck of a payout. I have to admit, that is tempting, but it doesn't actually get us any. It's tempting on a budget thing, because that basically doubles our budget. But on the other hand, it doesn't really get us anything new at the moment. We were considering launching another set of surface experiments to Minmus. And I do notice there is a orbital spacewalk world first contract for Minmus, which is a... So we could... I think we do that, maybe? Aha! And a contract to bring back a green sandstone. So I think we take those two. And we go out to Minmus. Now, I don't believe the new technology would be tremendously useful, but what I think we will do, we will take scanning. We'll take that so we can bring the new experiment package with us and set up a... and replace the weather package with that, considering the weather package doesn't work. It also gives us access to a different type of lab. A remote telescope, which is another science experiment. The gravity... Oh, I didn't realise this was on here. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely the way to go. More science experiments. The gravioli detector is another science experiment type we can bring. And again, we'll be able to mine now and scan surfaces for resources. Oh. Of course, we can't actually take technology if I don't actually click on it. We have a little bit left over. I might be tempted to use it on actuators, because now we can mine. We can use the grabbing units to dock us onto asteroids, which we can't technically pick up yet, but we will be able to. In fact, we could even... Yeah, tell you what, we'll upgrade the tracking station, which allows us to track unknown objects like asteroids. And our next mission after the Minmus one will be maybe to go out and maybe rendezvous with asteroid, perhaps. Try and do something with it. We could even bring it back to Kerbin, which is something you can do. There's an unknown object. If we hit track, we can now see its orbital path on the map. It will encounter Kerbin at this point. I'm not going to try and make a maneuver to catch up with it. I am not good at those. We'll track a few asteroids, so we can see a few of them now. They will, once they leave orbit, I believe, still be trackable. Or rather, once they go past that encounter, they'll go into a regular orbit, and we can still catch up with them. Anyway, for now, we won't focus too much on that. We shall set up our next little surface station. Yeah. And we will need to very slightly modify our lander for that. Now, the lander, if you guys didn't see the last one, had an incident where it basically decided, yes, you're about 200 meters from the ground. Now is the time to time warp. And it was just like, what? Oh, that's the last time we want to time warp. Hit the ground too hard, bounced, and fell over, basically. Which is not ideal. We got away with it. We managed to bring the rocket back through some clever trickery, but we don't want that happening again, so we'll be turning off time warp when we get back close to the ground this time. Right, so first thing we need to do is take out the... not the communitron, not the seismometer. Weather analyzer. There is no weather. That doesn't do us any good. We will have the iconographer instead. Iconographer? Whatever, anyway. Going to bring an extra repair kit, because that turned out to be useful last time. They don't weigh very much. Now what was the other thing? We need to put our new science experiment on board. Not tank type. Open. So we have our new gravioli detector. I will have a quick check of what the conditions for using this are, but I believe it's fairly easy. No idea. Anyway. Either way, we have one now. Cool. Lunar Tourist 2. Now, the difference this time, we won't be bringing a tourist, we will bring some more crew members. Okay, we'll give... Tell you what, Durdin... Actually, yeah, he'd be in the top pod, wouldn't he? Yeah, Durdin, you're going to pilot this mission. Actually, don't know how it determines pilots, but as far as law's concerned, he's piloting. I'm going to get these guys trained up. Is that experience? Wait, hang on, there's extra bonuses? I've never seen this before. What? Hang on. Stability hold. Repair skills, repair parachutes, repair landing legs. Increased resource converter efficiency. I didn't know the resource... So having a good engineer actually improves the mining systems. I didn't know that. And the drill. Repair failures, deploy power generation units 2. It's got a log of what they've done. Oh, the scientists actually improve science outcome. Science returns 110%. Okay, Jeb, you're going to sit this one out. We're going to bring Canvas with us, because she was very useful last time, and apparently she increases our science return. I didn't know that was a thing. This is genuinely the first time I've learned of this. What the heck? It makes sense to me that the Kerbals leveling up would do something. I didn't know it actually did that. Wow, okay. Man, apparently just playing this game for for YouTube, I'm just learning all these new things. Not doing anything particularly different, I'm just learning it. Alright. Anyway. 0. 100. Save, and just check we're definitely watching in daytime. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Right, Tourist 2, you're good for launch in 3, 2, 1, lift off. I think it's ignition. You say at 1 even. Either way, they got the idea. But yes, this is again, aside from the rough landing last time, this is technically a proven rocket. So what we'll do with MechJeb, once it starts to get close to the ground, we'll turn off auto warp and it should land fine, in theory. It should be even easier to land on Minmus than on the moon, so... Well, it should be a lot easier. We actually found a really good spot on the moon, though. That's the kind of sad thing. The rocket fell over, but we actually found one of the best spots I've ever found on the moon for actually landing. It was only a very shallow slope and very flat. Like, the moon's pretty rough for the most part, so... But, of course, now we have scanners. One other thing, potentially, we could do for future missions is to actually scan the surface, and I think we can get an elevation map to show us where it's roughest. Yeah, order stage 2, that's right. Yes, it's nice being able to fly almost the whole crew on these missions. I was trying to think where the others would be, but I suppose some of them are on the space stations, I think. But yes, if after this mission we still have access to that hotel contract, that's another one I might be tempted to take at some point. But we'll probably try for the asteroid if we can. And for the asteroid mission, we will probably have a rocket that will be able... I don't know whether we'll put a Kerbal on it or not. A Kerbal? Kerbal even. Just like, are we going to be able to get them back if it goes wrong? Potentially not, but I guess we can try it. But, yeah, maybe we'll try it because we'll get the engineer. But, yeah, what you can do with the asteroids effectively is, because it takes quite a bit of fuel to reach them, and you're never quite sure how much, I don't think. A good way to move them a lot of the time, because they're also very heavy, is to build a rocket with mining equipment on board and drills. So it sort of latches to one side of the asteroid, sinks the drills into it, sort of locks itself in place, and then the idea is that you mine out the asteroid and convert it into fuel. And then you literally use the inside of the asteroid to fuel the journey back to Kerbin. And it makes it lighter and lighter as you go, so it gets easier to maneuver the longer the mission goes on. So that's kind of my thought process for how we'll probably do that, and we'll probably use those Nerva engines that we haven't used yet, or I think they're just Nerva engines now. With the mod renames, but yeah, we'll use those to move them, try them out for the first time in this playthrough. Should be going for orbital injection any second. Wait, no, it'll be about 40 seconds. We stopped a little early this time, but oh well. And we'll have some new science to do along the way, because we'll have the gravioli detector. I was going to say, shouldn't it be 90 by now? I guess I got the timing slightly out. So activate the transmitter. If I can find it. Target mission control. And we'll see if we can run the gravioli detector while we're out here. Oh, that's the barometer. Okay, we can, but we'll have our scientists actually go out and get it. Yeah, we do need to run it though. Yeah, a new scientist can transfer data. Again, I did not know they could actually give bonuses to it. So it'll definitely be worth trying to level up some of our scientists. And that actually gives another advantage to them over probes, I suppose, because they can get you more data back at the far end. I wonder if that's a mechanic anyone's ever done for the mods. Any like probes that can bring you back a better percentage of science. It'd be interesting to see. Alright, oh, got to check that. And orbital injection is, yeah, good enough. Excellent, right. RCS, right. Canvas, I'm going to have you go out and grab the data quickly. I think she's well practiced at this point. Well practiced at, I should say. Take the data. I don't know how we actually how get the Kerbals to reorient themselves to face forwards again. I know there is a thing for it, but I can't remember what it is. Yeah, right. Set target. Minmus. Oh, we still need to be in the map view. Move a planet. Home and transfer. This will take a bit more fuel than the moon one, but yeah. It does actually take a bit, but once you're in orbit around the Minmus, it takes almost nothing. Oh, and we need to, before I forget, because the battery's not super long, super huge on this thing. That's actually something I meant to improve and forgot about when we were in the hangar. Solar panels. Seem to be getting a fair bit of sun, judging by that massive glare. Looks like it's going to be about the right angle to get us the most sun. Yep, that's about right. Not that it matters too much, we'll still easily refill before we use up our power, but the reaction wheels use a bit, but we're recharging faster than we're using it at the moment. I think there are other types of material you can make the solar panels from. I don't know if that's an upgrade thing or what, but I seem to remember there was like high density panels and like another sort. I don't know if that's from this or another mod though. Again, I've got two slightly different setups for Kerbal. I've got one that I play on multiplayer with a friend. Because, yeah, multiplayer's a thing you can do in Kerbal. It mostly works. And also this one, obviously, that I've been using for the playthrough. Which I've been having a lot of fun with. Like, I've really enjoyed coming back to it again and actually playing it. Like, I haven't really played it since the end of the big recording thing, because I haven't wanted to accidentally break this save or anything. But it's like, oh man, I missed actually playing it though. I think out the window there you have Jewel, actually, and that might even be Duna. Are they lined up? Yeah, they are. There we go, two planets right next to each other. It's neither of the ones we're aiming for. We're aiming for Eeloo eventually, but we'll definitely have to send something out there fairly soon. Ooh, batteries just about last through the night time then, it seems. Of course, I don't know if you would notice necessarily, but a lot of rocket engines actually have an alternator in them, like on a car. So actually a lot of rocket engines, when they're running, will generate power. So sometimes if you're almost completely out, if you're out of power, but you're in a ship with a Kerbal in it, you could sometimes jump start them by starting the engine, sort of very gently. You'll move a little bit, but it is a way to gain power. Transmit that gravity data. Oh. There is definitely a transmitter on this thing. I guess it's just lost power. Don't worry about it then. We'll ditch that. We'll take another reading once we're a good ways towards the moon. Should be close enough, I would imagine. Okay, so this is going to be the first time I'm going to have to fine-tune. So we do create maneuver, and you see it will basically correct the maneuver a little bit. You have to do this sometimes if it sometimes when it does like maneuver nodes to encounter planets or again home transfer, it doesn't get them quite right. You have to get to use a little bit extra. It doesn't use much Delta V at all unless you're playing with realism overhaul. That's the word. It was real something. Unless you're playing with realism overhaul and engine ignitions are an issue, it's not too much of a problem normally. They just create a little extra maneuver for that. Oh. It also helps if it's actually executing the maneuver and not just conveniently drifting in the right direction that made me think it was. But this again should be a reasonably straightforward mission compared to some of the ones we've had. I don't really know whether I should be like skipping some of these missions where they're sort of almost repeat missions, or whether you guys may find it interesting. I don't know. Like, feel free to suggest in the comments. Again, like I said, feel free to suggest any mission ideas as well. I'm happy to take like suggestions like, hey, could you try and do this kind of thing? The ones I don't really take are the ones that are like, hey, try and put something in this really specific orbit, because I'm just like, no, I'm not good at that. I don't find it fun. But if you've got like, hey, send a surface lander to this planet or something, like, feel free to suggest. Why not? Or like send her over here, kind of thing. If anyone wants sky cranes, I will install I will install the old mod that had winches and things and try and make it work. Oh, hang on, I need to board and actually check what. Yeah, it's just a gravity scanner. Okay. Subtle changes in the gravity field of Kerbal. Science team want to see these. Well, science team's about to get out and see them. Is it SAS that makes it? Oh, SAS. Oh, okay, interesting. Take the data. Okay, I think that worked. I think when it said removed, that was getting confused with last time. It's removed from the Kerbal and added to the pod. So we can indeed stack up the science reports. I think it'll keep coming up because I don't know if it's new biomes or if it's just because we're oh, surface deployed experiments gave us some science. We'll check on the message at the end of the flight. I think they do that. They generate a bit of science over time until they hit like a limit. Display too far from object. Also over the surface. Sweeps across the sensor sweeps across the gravitational field of Minmus. As before, we get out and we grab the reading. Oh, I suppose we've got the collect all button, haven't we? We probably don't even need to get out the rocket to do this. Take the data. I should probably just use the collect all button in future. Right. Oh, magnetometer report. Oh, hello. You report on that. Oh, of course, we haven't been to Minmus with this yet, have we? Yeah, I forgot we've already used this thingy. Keep that. Collect all. Okay, I think that's worked anyway. Right. Circular is at periaps. And that will just about use up our bottom stage, and we'll advance to the next fuel tank. Or the what do I mean? We'll advance to the lander stage for the well, landing. for the sake of not try to have it half land on this giant engine and go, you can slow down from this distance. And it's like, no, mech jib, again, you screwed this up last time, you can't. I might also try forcing mech jib to do more of a suicide burn than a long continuous burn from higher up, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, the other thing we need to do is grab a sandstone, so we will... Oh! We need to do a spacewalk near Minmus, yeah. Got to have maybe Bob or Durdin, maybe. Anyway, we'll have to have one of the others get out and do a spacewalk when we're near it as well. As I say, why have they gone static? That's weird. Check those guys are okay. Keep an eye on them. I don't know what's going on in there. But their camera's broken apparently. Look at EVA in orbit of Minmus to achieve this goal. Good. So it's taking its time. That Minmus there, it's not looking very green. It looks like it shrunk. Minmus, you okay there, buddy? Yeah, looking green from that side. Kind of weird for a moment there. I don't think there's any cosmic horror mods for Kerbal, although, my word, it would be enjoyable if there were. Okay, yeah, it's slowing down. It's roughly circular. Okay, let's kick ourselves a little bit away from the fuel tank. Toes prograde. Let's point the way we're going. Other way. Keep the satellites away. Keep the solar panels away from the rocket booster. Okay, right. Science experiments. Gravity scan. Yeah, we'll keep that. Perfect tool. I was a bit unsure whether they were working last time because of the whole not all items could be stored thing, but it also did seem to have actually worked, so... Oh yeah, we got the deployed science report. Oh, I see. I think that's like how much of the total. Got the 71 out of the total of about 180 from the science experiments we've got on the moon, in that biome anyway. Yeah, so you really can do a lot in Kerbal without even really leaving the Kerbin system. Landing guns. Where have we been before? Let's have a look. On that, we've been to the flats. We've been to the lowlands. Is that it? Oh, I suppose we have an unflagged landing spot somewhere, don't we? Can we do the Great Flats for now? Can we get sandstone off of those? Oh boy, it did tell us in the contract thing. I guess we'd better... Tell you what, I'll pause the game quickly. I'll just go and check. And I'll pause the recording if that's where you can indeed get them. I believe it did say, so it's not like it's cheating looking it up. And I'll get back to you guys. One moment. Alright, and we're back. It's the Greater Flats, Lowlands, and the Flats where we can find the sandstone. It didn't detail you on the contract screen, so we're going to go for the Great Flats. I have a feeling I'd seen it was something like you get a few more at the edge. I don't know if that's entirely true, but we'll aim for the edge of the flats. Right, land us at target, and again, once it gets close to the ground, we will disable MechJeb's auto warp. We do not need it smashing us into the ground again. Now, our thrust to weight is a lot better on Minmus. You notice we have 4.6. We only had just above 1 on the moon. Again, Minmus's gravity is extremely low. If you have to start, if you have to do a landing if you want to do a landing anywhere that's off of Kerbin as your first landing, go to Minmus. I know it's further away. It takes a little bit more fuel to get to it. It is absolutely so much easier to actually land on, so you won't regret it. Oh, we didn't do our spacewalk. This is fine. I think we can. We do abort or land for the moment. Bob. Spacewalk complete. Hey. Check over the thing before it continues its landing. It'll be a very quick check over because we need to make this thing work. I've now lost the Great Flats. I can't see it anymore. Back there. Yeah, the nice thing is though, because of our low powder weight, it can do some of the fine tuning a bit more easily. Like it actually managed to do like one delta V adjustment. Come on, mech, you really got to worry about a maneuver that small. So, oh, mind you, I say that, but we are 150 meters away from the target. I suppose that is a significant difference. So our distance from the actual surface. I believe you can check a science archive somewhere. I think it's in the... I mean the research building itself, to check where you've done experiments or where you haven't. So if you're having to search for like the last few bits, you can do that, but I believe it's possible to get most of the science you need for the game from things like labs and things anyway. Across surface stations. I think the amount you actually need to get is nowhere near all of it to finish out the tech tree. Keep that, collect it. Why not? Oh. Ah, I think we're low over port oil land, time warp off. Oil except TVA. Keep that, atmospheric scan, temperature scan, gravity scan, and the magnetometer. Which we should probably retract. Collect all. Yep, keep that. And collect it. Once time to land gets below about a minute, I'm going to turn off time warp. In fact, since I think it's doing its final burn now, we're going to turn off time warp now. Or auto warp now. Because I do not want you screwing it up again, MechJeb. We can't afford it. We can't afford another lawsuit. We will actually do the materials bay and the goo pod now. Because we can also recover and clean those out. Although we have done those partly at least. So we'll close the door temporarily while we land. Make sure no the antenna as well. Make sure no dust or whatever gets kicked up and breaks them. Not a thing you actually have to worry about, but I'm sure I think real science things they obviously do have to worry about that a bit, like the force from the engines, like exhaust, does kick dust all over the place. I think if I remember correctly, the famous like moon landing site, the flag got blown over on the like NASA don't like to make a big thing of it, but it actually got blown over when the lander took off. So by the exhaust, and they said they've made them sort of hammer the flags in harder on the other ones, kind of thing. No, I think I've heard it's kind of bleached now because there's no atmosphere to protect it. The actual like the top of the flag at least has been sort of bleached white. Or the top, what do I mean? Not the top, the side that's sort of facing the sun anyway. Yeah, well, turn the lights on so it's a bit gloomy. How do we do for power? Actually, we should probably check that. Electric charge is running down a bit, but we're okay. We should be fine for landing at any rate. We'll probably land and wait for daylight before we start trying to set up the base. We do have a spotlight, but... just in case, let's just check contracts. Yeah, EVA contract. Electrician Minmus and a world first. Do a spacewalk around Minmus. Landing legs are down. Well, the warp is off, so it shouldn't smash us into the floor this time. Keyword being shouldn't. Don't know if we have any gimbal on those. No, we don't. Is that what the other low-profile engine does? Is that the difference? It's less efficient, but it has a gimbal on it. That would be interesting. I should check that. That might even be the case. It might even be slightly better for our landers if they could thrust gimbal, but it'd make manoeuvres like our emergency takeoff a bit easier in some ways. They'd be able to face down, face up, and tilt us up, help tilt us upwards. Yeah, but there. Now, is this a section of Minmus we've landed in before? Because I do not know. What I do know is we can't see the floor. We're apparently very close to it, but we're landing on instruments, basically. And also, you know, that might be a green sandstone there, that little lump. Might have landed right near one, that'd be good. Normally I have to jetpack around a bit to find one. Hey, gentle as anything, and no falling over this time. Open that up, and we shall time warp to daytime. How you guys enjoying the space weather? Okay. Let's have Tambus quickly go and scrub out the experiments. Scrub out the mystery goo, or collect the data from the mystery goo and scrub it out. Collect the goo and restore. And we'll have her do the same for the science pod, and then we'll run them again before we do anything else on the ground. Whoops, do not bash the head on the panels, that's how bugs happen. Right, and then deploy all except EVA. Is it actually deploying all? Magnetometer is not going out. Great. Atmospheric pressure scan. The goo. Materials study. The bay. Temperature scan. Seismic scan. It's possible that the interior is not frozen. Oh, okay. Well, not completely frozen. Gravity scan. Crew assessment. Can we use this here, or can we not use it because it landed? I think we maybe can't use this on landed, but I thought we could in vacuum planets, maybe? No, apparently not. Okay. That's not too weird. I sort of half expected that. Right. Collect all. I think that maybe said it's already stored. So that might be what it meant by it. Some things cannot be stored. Might be you've already got it in here. Bob, tell you what, you can set up the science station. I don't think there's any benefits. I actually don't think there's any benefits to setting up the science station, but you need a scientist to do it still, but I don't think they get any specific benefits from it. So we'll have Bob gain some experience and put it together himself. I don't know if he actually gets anything from it, but... Okay, so let's have him drop off his jetpack and his parachute temporarily. Very low gravity, which is going to make placing all this stuff interesting. Let's see, if we stand here, we can access stuff without even having to go back over to it. Okay, this is our new experiment station. The what was it? Iconographer. Make some interesting noises. Signal to base control, or ground control, or whatever. Loading sensor. And I think the rest of the... No, we need this one. I think this is the goo station. Okay. And tell you what. Put the work light up as well. There we go. One thing we will need to do is also find that sandstone, but I think that is literally one. Yeah, I think that's literally one there. That was easy enough. Right, no repairs needed this time. He jumped into the rocket and exploded. We all saw that, right? Quick load time. I don't know why he jumped into the rocket and just suddenly poofed. I've never seen that before. Alright. Attempt to. Bob, you have been saved by a quantum something. Oh god, have we run the experiments yet? No, we haven't. We have to redo that whole bit. Hang on a minute, I'll cut back when we're back to where we were. And we're back. I don't know why he exploded when he bumped into the rocket. He didn't hit it particularly hard. I don't know if he got sort of crushed under it or something. I did see the rocket sort of rock a little bit. Anyway, We're giving him a jetpack back. And Bob is going to go collect the sandstone and run some little experiments. And also he's got to put a flag down. So... Right. Yes, as for collecting a rock sample, what you do, you stand on it, and you go pick up green sandstone. Or maybe you can stand next to it, but either way, standing on it seems to work most reliably for me. You notice no transition data, you've got to bring it back. Kerbal scientists are curious about how Minmus managed to have salt flats despite its low gravity and lack of atmosphere. These old rocks provide numerous clues. Also, they kind of look like sprinkles, right? Return this to have it analysed and gain all information about it. Also do surface sample. You sneak a taste of the surface sample. No, it's definitely not made of delicious dessert projects. Yeah, it's not mint ice cream, no matter how much they think it might be. EVA report, you feel like a bit like a superhero when you jump into low gravity. And EVA science, because we did bring the science kit as well. There's your golf swing. Well, it's out there somewhere, in theory. Yeah. Oh, no, it is different. Watching the astronaut look through the EVA science kits gives us conclusive evidence that the new situation has not improved their creativity. As the ball larks off into the distance, you observe the ballet of physics between the applied impulse and the body's gravity. Our scientists will rejoice at the results, and hopefully agree that the 6 iron was a great club selection. I get to assume so, but I'm not entirely sure what he was aiming at. So, right. We'll bring him back, and then we'll have one of our engineers go out and set up the solar panels, because we also need power for these base stations. Now, once again, we'll quick save just in case, because again, as we've already proven, the Kraken is very much alive and well and will eat your space, your astronauts. Your spacemen, I suppose, is the word I was looking for. Right. Quick save. Added the extra stuff to the pod. It's probably getting quite full of science equipment in there. We have another engineer on board? We do. Danlock. I try to think if Danlock was with us on the last flight. I think he's one of the second generation Space Jank members, I think. Either way, he proved he had the right stuff. Probably. Well, he had enough of the stuff that I guess we're looking for at any rate, so... Right. We hired him, is what I'm trying to say. Don't go too far away with these, but we'll set them up sort of around here. If I jump, he's going to be floating for a very long time, so I'm trying to avoid actually jumping. You might also notice it is actually a little bit awkward to place these stations with Minmus gravity, because he's so prone to leaping off the surface. Although the worst one I've had for that was a modded asteroid. There's one mod that added a load of like little, basically asteroids to go and visit, and I tried landing on one, and the gravity is so low, it's actually a nightmare to do anything. I built a rover to have a wander around on it. It's one of the few like explanatory rovers I've landed, and it was awful because it couldn't drive. It was so low gravity, it could not go anywhere, and it was also spinning really fast, I think, which didn't help, but... Control station. Power available 10. Good. View monitor, and is this one working? Module enabled. Not connected. Why is it not connected? Just redeploy it and try and work out why it's not. I needed 5. Okay, I think it's working now. Not enabled, true. Yeah. Are the others working? True, true, true. We got power. I don't know what happened there. For some reason that one wasn't enabled. It's probably a good thing we checked on it. 0.078 science an hour, basically. Science rate, 35% 5. Is that because of who deployed it? If I get my Oh, shoot. I think it'll come straight down. If I get, thingy to pick up that module and put it back down again, maybe it does affect these base stations. I had a feeling it did. We'll check if it, increases the yield. Is it a thing that wasn't working at all until he deployed it, but it could be a power thing? Not quite sure what was going on there. Either way, you need your jetpack back so you can take off again. Do not touch the rocket, you might explode. I still don't know why. Someone has not got their, Oh! Oh no. Oh no! Badlock, are you okay? Speak to me, bud. Oh god. He's been impaled. Oh. you okay there, little buddy? He just took 2 solar panel beams through the throat. Oh, well, he seems to be fine. Oh dear. Well, you know what, Danlock? You're the engineer. You made that mess. You get to fix it. This is why I bought an extra one of these along. Right. Repair that, please. Excellent. Is it still going to have broken, like missing solar panels on the actual model? You bet it does. Waterfall module. Oh, he must come out at the top. Oh my god. Dambus, you're also it. Downlock even. Do not recover that close to the bottom of the pod. It makes me nervous now. The bottom of the rocket. Right, let's see if Tambus redeploys that thing again. Hopefully it works this time. Let's see. Maybe we deployed it first. Maybe that was the issue. For control station. But I thought we did the control station first. But yeah, let's see if she redeploys this. Whether that fixes the issue. Okay, let's do it. Pick up part. Let's double check it. It is enabled and it is at 45% science rate now. And it's about 10 times faster. Jeez. Right, okay, so it very much matters who deploys the stuff. Do not bonk the solar panel again. Oh. No, can't do an airborne science experiment. Right. Well, after almost an equally big level of oopses, I believe we have now got the base station set up. We at least will have a much easier landing. Scent guidance. Take us up to... just take us up to 50 mech. You don't have to go up very high. Current thing. Go. Still hear the ground stations, even despite the vacuum. Click tool, let's just make sure they're all in the pod. Yeah, already stored. Oh, I think we actually forgot to pick up the currently stored the current experiments, so it's probably a good thing that we did that. Anyway, I think we've probably got another 1,000, if not maybe even a bit more science on board. In fact, yeah, probably be more this time because we've got the extra experiments, so we should get quite a lot from this, and I don't think we'd even spent... Oh, no, we did spend our last lot, okay. And we'll get a bit more money from bringing the sandstone back as well. We should be looking good for whatever our next mission is. I think it was saying... Yeah, it's definitely strongly considering an asteroid recovery. I might also have a look at the missions available. I believe we've got the Sentinel telescope to map asteroids as one of them, and we could also take that hotel contract. Build a really... Oh, what? Yeah, what we could... Ooh. We could build some kind of at least semi-reusable crew shuttle for the hotel and run the hotel contract, because the payout for that is huge, so we could afford to spend out a bit of money on something a bit weirder. That could be fun. I'll maybe look into that. Do some upgrades to the landing strip and everything. But yeah, maybe maybe a shuttle. Maybe just a straight-up space shuttle type construct. Some actual wings to be able to come back down again on. Oh, you can have auto walk now, make sure. Now that I know you're not going to break it. We did enough of that on our own. Not that it matters too much. Those solar panels are doomed anyway, considering the landing process. But we are trying not to break them. Like that as well. Why not? Grab all the data we can while we're up here. Oh, we can reactivate that to be able to talk the mission control again. Or not, as it were. Oh, there's a view. Look at that. See loads of planets there. I think that's that grey one. Oh, that's the moon. That would be Jewel, and that would be Duna again, I think. Then, so no, there's two close to each other. Is there any other planets visible? I wonder at the moment. There's Eve. That could be Dres, maybe. It could be a star. I'm not sure. Is that Eeloo all the way out there at a distance? Maybe, or is it just a star? Might just be a star. Oh, the map looks weird. Oh, right. Still got that turned on. That would do it. Right. Right, anyway. Maneuver planner. We need to go home now. Tad from a moon. 50, just drop us straight into re-entry. We have no reason to not do so. Nope, nowhere near 50, but oh well. It's fine, we can adjust that manually once we're out of orbit. Out of Minmus's orbit anyway. But yeah, so lesson in quick saving, that's why I do it so often. Because I know things like just Bob randomly exploding happen. And to be fair, I actually don't think that would have lost us anything, because Bob, I think we're getting science already. Bob is one of the original four, and he actually will come back. Oh, it's a moon. It's from the moon, that one. Yeah, I think it maybe transmits, if you've got a communicator, as long as it's got a signal network, it'll transmit when it gets passage back to Earth, I think. Or back to Kerbin, even. I keep saying Earth, it's not Earth. We're not in real solar system, we don't have the Earth. Oh, it's this again. It's the... We want to do our maneuver and we're in nighttime. Want it here, don't we? We're there, or just about sun daytime. Just want to be out of Minmus's or influence, but in Kerbin's. There we go. I think we're actually going to loop back round to it again in the next orbit, but that's fine. We're going to slow down before we get to that point. Beautiful morning sunshine. Whatever time it is for the Kerbals. Looks like it might be about a month mission by the time we get back. I think this orbit will be quite slow to bring them up to the deorbiting point. I wonder how long the real moon missions lasted. I don't know whether they were just a few days or... I think it was more than one, but I don't know exactly how many. Guess you'd have to snooze in the suit. But that takes a bit of getting used to. But yes, I think I just resigned to the missions taking longer than the half-hour plan for these episodes. I think they're probably going to take about 40 minutes, if not maybe closer to an hour for most of these. It does seem to be the way it's worked out at any rate, or maybe even longer, depending on how they go. But I don't mind that. As you're enjoying them. That's the point of this series. It's for me to be able to play the game I like, and for you guys to hopefully enjoy watching a little bit of it. Maybe load setting. Got any mind on that one, whether you do or not? Priority scan. We'll keep that and collect it. Alright, and change periapts at the next periapts to 50. And we'll burn the last of our fuel as we re-enter to slow down a bit. Got quite a lot of it actually still, because we didn't use anywhere near as much on our landing. Probably, if anything, maybe an improvement to this lander, we can maybe use 3 engines. Have a higher thrust to weight, and if we burn more fuel and don't have quite as much, because it still seems to have plenty of spare. And it might also make it usable on more planets. We close that. It's going to keep flashing away. Deployed science report. We get any from Minmus yet? Yeah. Strigu. Nothing from the what's it yet, but I guess it'll give us data later on that. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll be weird. I don't know. There's warp. Speed this one up. It doesn't need to be super precise, unlike some of them. If you're doing a precision burn, do not fizz warp it. But given we are not, given we're just trying to drop ourselves into re-entry, we don't really need to worry about that. God, look at the moon getting in the way there. Orbit's going all over the place. Slow down now. It should finish off the burn just fine anyway, in theory. Yeah, meet me out. And yeah, pretty much 50. Good job, McDeb. Right. Smart ass. Retrograde. Warp helper. Spheric entry. You know the drill, guys. Take us to the point where things get spicy. And the Minmus. Well, the goo sensor is definitely working. I'm still not entirely sure on the other bit, but we're definitely receiving goo. Up to 187 science again from about, what was it, 20 something. Now coming in a bit fast, so again we will burn up some fuel. '50's fairly high up, so the atmosphere is going to be pretty thin. Oh, there it is, though. This bit starts to look like it's overheating. I'll ditch the engines. These will probably burn up. We're sort of expecting that, so that's fine. I say these will probably burn up. They are almost certainly going to burn up. No, this one might be okay with the spindly bits, but in reality, apparently, re-entry is about one of the most destructive situations it's possible to put anything in. It is apparently the main scary bit for a lot of space missions. Kerbal is fairly forgiving in a lot of ways for re-entry, I'm told. But in fact, it's fairly forgiving in a lot of ways for space travel in general. You know, periapts are not dropping much at the moment. We might actually slingshot back out of the atmosphere. But our apparatus is dropping. Yeah, you can sometimes actually just sort of bounce back out again, but you could use that to slow yourself down. So what you can do, if you're coming in for a long way away, and you're coming in very fast towards a planet like, say, Duna, with quite a thin atmosphere, or well, any planet really, you can drop yourselves a little way into the atmosphere and use that to slow yourself down with no actual fuel usage, as long as you get the depth right and you skim out again and don't crash into it, unless that's what you're trying to do. You can actually use that to save fuel. You might have to have an extra heat shield with you. You probably will have to design for that situation, but yeah, kind of a good way to do save you a lot of fuel in long trips. Joule is the main other one I know people do air brakes on. Joule, Eve, and Duna. Basically the ones with atmosphere lathe you don't really have to do that on, because it's by the time you've got to it, you're not usually moving particularly fast anyway. Although I guess you could. I guess if your encounter with Joule took you into lathe sphere influence, you could do that. Lathe, as you mentioned, is a moon of Joule that's a bit Kerbinish. It's got land, it's got seas. I don't think it's got plants, but it's got an atmosphere. Aside from, I think, being a bit cold, it's one of the nicest places to visit in the system. Time warp now. There's warping them. I think we're going to partially bounce, but our actual perhaps is dropping a lot now. Probably what will happen is the Appalachians will catch up with us and then we'll start to drop off. But it has been, we've slowed down nice and gently. Nothing's melted apart from the... Oh, the solar panels didn't even melt. Well, there you go. I'm pretty sure they'd be blackened to uselessness at this point, but they're not known for their durability. Yeah, let's not land on the mountains. I would rather land in the ocean than on those, so... Let's just keep burning. Yeah, like I say, we'll catch up with the apoaps, and then now we're actually starting to drop again. They seem to be having fun. Enjoying this. A bit like a space roller coaster ride. You go up and then down, up and then down. Fuel's nearly burned up. Music stopped. Atmosphere again. And this time we're going down. Just do some maneuvers to... That's what I'm doing wrong. I want strafe, don't I? They just do some maneuvers that will take us away from that pod. That's the one. We only need to basically shift up a little bit. Whee! Said about it being a roller coaster ride. Oh, yeah, an interesting quirk of Kerbal physics. Sometimes radial attached things will do unusual things at high spin speed. They've done a lot to avoid bugs like that. The optimization guys absolutely have my respect, but there's still the odd thing. Oh yeah, there goes the solar panels. They're broken for real this time. RCS off, and we can cruise in for the landing. Alright, we're back. Got to do a brief jump cut. People want to talk to you and things, honestly. Thundering through the old atmosphere. I think the heat shield burned off a single point of ablator. Would probably even have been fine without it, but I'm not going to complain that we had it there just in case. Should be a gentle parachute glide down, followed by a not so gentle parachute yank as they actually deploy properly. But hey, look at the G-forces. You can enable an option for that your Kerbals will actually die if there's too much G-force. Which is not something I typically do, but you can. It is an option for those of you out there who want to. Yeah, we're nearly there. We'll definitely... We'll gather our results in this mission and we'll call it after the episode, I think. That's probably about right. Good place to stop. Climb up to the ocean. As before, we're falling at exactly the sort of speed I expected. The system's proven itself at this point. This should work. There's something landing. I guess it's smashed entirely because I don't see any debris anywhere. It could be a fair few kilometers off, so it might not, I suppose. Occasionally stuff survives landing. It's kind of surprising what it does, actually. Kerbal's water is weird. At very high speed, it's more dangerous to land in than the ground. At like very high speed, you're often better off hitting the ground because the bottom of your rocket might smash, but there's a good chance some of it will bounce if it's sort of borderline speed-wise. But if you're at low speed, the ocean's normally a better bet for crash landing because it will be a bit kinder to your parts in some ways. It's kind of unusual. But yeah, sometimes at really high speed, you're better just aiming for the ground and hoping that something bounces. But at really high speed, a lot of time, it'll just smash into the ground. There'll be no time for that to happen. Almost 2,000 science. Wow, that was worth it then. And a whole bunch of level ups. We've got a bunch of level 2 crew. Excellent. Point science report, a bit more mystery glue for the surface, and the sandstone, which I'd completely forgotten about. We're in a rather good spot now, but I shall leave the episode there. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. I am a games developer, as well as someone who plays them, so if you really want to support the channel, as well as all the normal, you know, like, comment, subscribe, whatever things, check out the games link in the description. That's the absolute best way to support us. Right, and until next time, bye-bye.